Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and it is 4:25 in the a.m. and comic books have already dropped online, so I'm in the middle of getting ready to start doing all that stuff. But while I was waiting, I did start actually watching this. So episode four, here's the thing I'm a little bit upset with. They dropped 3 episodes last week, and it's like, yay, maybe they'll just keep dropping them in 3 episode increments. That's perfect, it gives us something to do. But at this point now, it's like they're dropping 1 episode. That's not cool. Is that the standard practice for Hulu? Anybody out there who typically follows with Hulu? I got it just, now. And I haven't been doing anything with it, just watching. Literally, I watched 4 episodes of this on there. That's it. So I actually really want to know, do they usually only drop 1 episode per week? Like this is standard freaking TV? Because that's not cool. Because I am very much in favor of Netflix now, where I can watch it like when Orange is the New Black drops. That's one of the things my wife and I like to watch together. We will watch that, we'll binge it. we'll binge like, 4 episodes in a row. Maybe the next night we only have time for one, but we're making those decisions. Our company isn't, our Netflix isn't making that decision for us, because we're adults. And it's almost like they're trying to keep us here. That's not cool. That's not cool. So I'm wondering if this is just a thing they're doing with this because they finally got their hands on a Marvel property, or if they've always been buttheads like that. Because yeah, it's a butthead maneuver. Okay, so on to the actual episode itself. This was still a fun episode. Make no mistake. I just wanted to see 2 more after this. So Gert finally gets her hands on her dinosaur, literally. The dinosaur comes back. That's Old Lace. She comes back, and not Carolina Dean, Molly Hayes is in there. And love Molly. I love everything about her. I love that on the wall she had her hats. The one thing that bothered me is that none of those hats were on her head. That's a big part of who Molly Hayes actually is. Ooh, description below. I got to throw it in there. I've got a couple of the Runaways, but I don't think I put in Molly Hayes that I just did yesterday. Molly Hayes explained in a minute. So, yeah, Molly, no hat on her head. That's the only thing that's actually bothering me. Aside from that, oh no, actually, there is one more thing that bothers me. I'll get to that. Old Lace, like went after her, tried to smell her, tried to, assert dominance. I'm here and whatnot. And Carolina, like her eyes glowed. Didn't glow purple or sapphire, or whatever. They glowed yellow. I'm actually okay with that. And then just kicked her, like knocked her into the ceiling. I'm like, that's awesome. The first time that I think it was the first time that she met Old Lace in the comics, she actually just walked. Everybody's like, oh, she's not moving. Oh my God, what's going on? And Carolina, who already discovered her power, she walks up and she's just like, shoo, let me handle it. It was literally like a, hold my beer moment. Except is she 13 in the comics? I think she was 11 in the comics when she first started out. Yeah, I think she was 11 in the comics. So it was one of those things where it's like, what are you doing with the beer? Nonetheless, she wasn't really doing that. But she walked up and she just lifted Old Lace over her head and then like walked her over someplace else. So that was fun. That was fun. Anyway, in this, she just kicks her off, breaks some tile, some sheetrock, runs downstairs, gets into a confrontation right there. To be honest, at this point, she should have been dozing off. This is only like what, the second, maybe third time that she's using her powers. Third. Yeah, no. She gets tired and she falls asleep after she uses her powers just once. So it's got to be like a big time, reason to use it because then she's about to go nappy time afterwards. So she didn't go nappy time even after the second time she went up against her. She had her eyes glow, and Old Lace is standing there, and she's like, "All right, that's it." She cocked her fist, and I thought this was a great scene. I loved this. She's like, "All right," and they're just about to go at it with each other, and yeah. Also, she's got some major body armor. Again, check explained in a minute for Molly Hayes. But yeah, she's in absolutely zero danger from Old Lace as long as she's conscious. If she's unconscious, she's meat. But I thought that was great. And then Gert walks in and is like, stop. And it might be, you might think it's one of those things, hey, well, how'd she just know that right away? She's actually got the psychic link with Old Lace. So she feels Old Lace, like, I don't know, off in the tree line staring at her and things like that. So yeah, she had a feeling she was in there. I like the idea that the parents are starting to come clean. I do also like the idea that it's not going to be easy because Gert has had a really, what do you call it, piss poor attitude. That's what parents always say to kids, right? That's a piss poor attitude. Yeah, 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 sure. I don't know how poor piss is, but we all do it. Nonetheless, I thought that was really cool because, actions do have consequences, and that shows in here. Remember, this is a teen movie, nonetheless. So perfect. The parents are also extremely afraid. The Yorks, they are extremely afraid. Tina Minoru comes in there. Now, mind you, she probably had like the staff of one tucked away or something like that. But all of the other criminals there, they know that she's got the staff of one. They know how powerful she is. Now, in the comics, her and the husband work together perfectly. Perfectly. And like the group did fight with each other, but no one was actually afraid of each other. It was literally like, you could do your thing, but I'll do my thing. The weakest ones were actually Alex Wilder's family because he was just, they were just, yeah, former criminals. Well, they're still criminals, but they went from blue collar to white collar criminals. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird the idea that Tina's got so much power, so much fear mongering over the others there. That's not cool. I'm not particularly cool with that power dynamic. But what are you going to do? Brian K. Vaughan, the original writer for this series, he is an executive consultant, which is can't argue. It's hard to argue. Like here's this guy. He's just changing his original vision to update it a little bit. What else happened in this one? That David Eller guy. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. The guy who died from testicular cancer. I think that's the guy who's in the bed upstairs, who is Carolina Dean's grandfather. So her mother's actual biological father. If that's actually him, ew, ew, she got in the bed with that thing. Like she was naked, and then she like got under the covers, and then it was like he started glowing down there. Is that what the testicular cancer did? Just so freaked out by that. That was just so wrong. It was raunchy. All that icky stuff aside, I like the idea that she's stringing along her husband. This is very different from the comics right here, and I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. As long as the characters stay like the characters, the main six, the kids, I don't care what else they do. Do whatever you gotta do. Change it up. Um, Everything else about this comic or this issue, it was what it was. It was okay. I do like that here with Chase Stein, he's sitting there working on those fistigons. You know what I'm saying? I love that he actually said the word out loud and he started working on them. It's cool to see that he is still afraid of his dad because he would be. I mean, like, that's your dad. If your dad beats you, you're going to have to get a lot older than just a teen. You might want to stand up to your dad, but until you've actually had that moment where hopefully you've knocked him down, that's a tall order to stand up to your dad. So I could see it. Even though he's bigger now, yeah, there's still that fear. So he was afraid of him. He was upset, but he still had that fear, that healthy respect there. And when his dad, looked at it and pulled the wire out and then just threw it on the floor and just looked at him, it's like, oh man, it's like, is this going to be it where they throw down? Because Chase was never mechanically inclined until they actually became the Runaways. Then he kind of had to because he stole the Fistigons from his dad. He also stole the Footagons. Just let that one go. It's basically Tony Stark repulsor technology that allows him to fly. But and he also stole the X-ray goggles from them, where people are staring at each other's junk. so, so in this one, he is mechanically inclined before they run away. He had to learn how to do that because he became the driver, so he had to fix the car or the leapfrog. I love the leapfrog, that big bouncy frog-looking thing they had in the comics. Doubt we'll see that here, but I'm sure they're going to do some kind of a reference because there's so many references in here that it's great. But he had to fix the Fistigons once in a while, try and do like little upgrades when he could. But here he's actually trying to create them. Now, his father trying to help him out with that, That is really cool. His father seeing that he's because that was the reason, even in the comics, why his father was always so mad at him. It's like, you're going towards these sport things. His father in the comics was not particularly big, but he wasn't any bigger than he is. So in this, I guess it's just they're both actually much bigger, but it's, I don't know, whatever. It is what it is. They're both about the same size, but either way, Chase's father would always have the sense of it doesn't matter how big you are, it's what's up here that actually counts. I will agree. I will agree. So seeing him actually having this bonding moment that he never had in the comics was actually really refreshing. It's like he could have accepted you because later on in the comics there will be the character Victor Mancha, who is basically an android, and Victor is the name of his father, of Chase's father. So he's like, man, you got the same name as my dad, and yeah, Chase was never trusting of the new people to begin with. One of them became a vampire, so there's that. But he says, I think I look at you and I think that you're the son that my father would have wanted, because Victor, obviously, android and all that stuff. He's extremely smart, so I like that we get to see that insight. And of course, they're evil, so I'm sure they're not going to stay for too long. But interesting. My speculation for who kidnapped Alex Wilder is, I believe it's his parents. Only makes sense. That's going to be his parents. They probably got some kind of a tracker on him and whatnot. They're smart. Dad is extremely street smart. Best lawyer in the world is apparently his mom now. Cool. Digging it. Absolutely digging it. So this was a fun episode. Again, the biggest complaint that I have is that we don't see those hats on Molly Hayes more often, because we should. So that's not a bad episode. That's the only real major complaint that I have. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm gonna let this one go. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. I guess I'll see you in 1 week for one more episode. Class dismissed.